A lot of people haven't even heard of Albanian wine, but there's a long history of viticulture there, at least 4,000 to 6,000 years. Albania is this small country in the Balkan Peninsula, right across the Adriatic Sea from Puglia. There's only about 3.5 million inhabitants. There are less than 10,000 hectares of vineyards dedicated to wine grapes. Just to give you an example, Napa Valley has about double the plantings of the entire country of Albania. Albania, along with Ukraine, are the only two nations that I haven't been to in terms of Eastern European wine-producing countries. I hope that changes real soon. Even though I haven't been there, I have a good friend who's a perfumist. He's also a consultant for big companies like Ball & J, other big wine brands. He told me once he thinks Albania has fantastic terroir and there's untapped potential there. I recently bumped into an Albanian producer I was really impressed with while I was judging at the Open Balkan Wine Competition in conjunction with Wine Vision in Belgrade, Serbia. It was mini pro wine for the wines of Serbia, Albania, and North Macedonia. I met a sommelier there, Erdi, who's a fantastic guy. He's really high up in the Albanian Sommelier Association. He took me to all the different producers that were there at the fair. I tasted from, I think, at least 7 or 8 of them. Some unique varieties, some varieties that we're familiar with. I really like this grape called Shesh. There's a white and a red Shesh, and when it's done well, it can be very good. However, this one wine is made of Sangiovese Grosso, which is the synonym for Sangiovese in Montalcino. When I first tasted this Albanian Sangiovese, I thought it was really good. I was with 2 other wine writers who I have immense respect for, both their writing and their palates, and I didn't say a word. I tasted this wine first. After they tasted it, their eyes went big. They thought it was great, and I said, yes, I think I was right here. I hand carried that bottle of wine back from Belgrade, Serbia. I used to put this tasting together. Sangiovese is a grape that you know that I love. I don't want to go into too much detail because there's so many videos about Sangiovese on the channel. Most planted red grape variety in Italy. Its spiritual home is Tuscany, although it might be native to Emilia-Romagna for the north. Responsible for some of the classic Italian red wines like Chianti Classico, Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, and Brunello di Montalcino, a wine that wine lovers all over the world go crazy for. I also have 2 other appellations here that are lesser known, but also are producing high quality Sangiovese. Sangiovese is a high acid, high tannin grape. It was my first love when it came to fine wine, and my palate really hasn't wavered. So I want to see if this big time underdog can stand up next to some great, and I'm just not talking good, some great Sangioveses. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get tasting. Serious wines. I'm tasting out of a serious glass. This is the Rito 002 red wine glass. I've quickly come to love this red wine glass. Works well with all types of red wines. A little taller, almost like a Syrah shape, but I like how it feels in the hand. Wines are really good out of it. I have a link in the description box. It's not the cheapest wine glass in the world, but I really like it. If you purchase that link, it helps the channel, so I appreciate it. As always, I Corvin these and had somebody mix them up for me. You can see that I'm pretty pumped. I'm doing this episode, yes, for you, but more for me. I always look for excuses to reach out to other Sangiovese producers, see if I can taste some of their wines on video, because you know I love the grape variety. Let's go. This is how I introduce a lot of exotic wine countries to hardcore wine lovers, collectors. I put them in blind tastings and see what they think. Wine 1 is a darker expression of Sangiovese. When I think of Sangiovese, I'm usually thinking of sour cherry. Here it's more black cherry, herbal. There are some earthiness notes to it. I could definitely tell this is Sangiovese. It's just on the bigger side. Earth, pepper. Oh, nice. Wow. This is going to be a good episode. On the nose, it wasn't as layered as I'm expecting great Sangiovese to be, but on the palate, big time chewy tannins. Long finish, lots of complexities, earthiness, pepper, tobacco starts to come to play here. This is pretty serious stuff. That's age-worthy too. All 6 of these wines come from either the 2017 or 2018 vintage. Wine 2, it's not as explosive as the first one. I definitely get sour cherry notes, white pepper, like a little bit of that balsamic quality. It smells really nice. It smells delicate, pretty. Real sweet fruit flavors, has that mahogany, the mocha type taste on the back end. Tannins here are supple, they kind of hug your palate really nice. It's a heck of a wine too. I know some of these videos you're saying, hurry up and get to the reveal. That's almost the way I think about this video right now. I just want to taste everything. I want to see the results, because besides the Albanian wine, these are some great wines. Wine 3 is the fruitiest out of them all. It doesn't have as much earthiness out of the first 2. The sour cherry notes jump out quite a bit. A little bit of white pepper. It's not very earthy. You gotta just like sour cherry city. Maybe a touch of rose petal. It's kind of soft. Hold on a second. More of a thinking wine, so to speak. It's delicate. I think it's very good. Let's move on to wine 4. Wine 4, also more of a darker style. Black cherry. Sour cherry has a little bit of tanginess. Fruity, like 3. Not so earthy, like 1 or 2. These are all excellent wines, and here's the hard thing, is when you're scoring a bunch of high-quality wines next to each other, because we're talking about very subtle nuances here. My only problem with 4, to keep it at the level of the first 3, is on the back end, the fruit falls off a little bit, and it could be, it's just, I feel more tannins. Now, these are young wines, so it could be a super serious wine that's just not ready to be drunk now. I don't know. It's good, but that's just my impression here. 5 smells like it's more aged. Sour cherry note. This is like black cherry, black raspberry. The age comes out quite a bit. You kind of get this mushroom type note. The fruits go from kind of fresh, they start to feel a little bit dried. Oh, but now you get a rose petal component that's really nice. This has got, it's got more maturity, but it's got that sweet and sour, like kind of tanginess combination, which I love about Sangiovese, kind of pushes through all the way. Long finish. I'd like a little bit more bright fruit, but I think this is very good wine. So far, the Albanian wine really isn't standing out at all. 6 is very pretty. Rose petal, tar, sour cherry, mocha, really complex. I mean, this is everything I love about Sangiovese. Wouldn't it be cool if this is the Albanian wine? This, along with wine 3, is probably the most delicate wine, but this one has tons of complexities, lots of layers. This kind of reminds me of like those more Burgundy style Brunellos, or maybe some of those mountain Chianti Classicos. That's really good. The Albanian wine did not stick out whatsoever. It's right up there in quality of wines that are much more expensive. This is going to be tough. These are some I've got some that are ridiculously highly scored wines. In typical Sangiovese that I love, the sour cherry fruits, the tart fruits, the big time tannins. So you're going to want steak with these types of wines. Let's go on number 4. I gave it 91 points. I thought it was fruit. It was the most fruit forward out of all these wines. It was good. I actually don't know where this is from. Sangiovese is a grape variety that really does express terroir, and you can taste subtle differences, but here I couldn't discern between the regions, and also I stopped trying to figure out if I could pick out the Albanian wine and I was just going to taste on quality. 91 points. I think it's very good wine. Let's take a look here. This is the Fattoria Fibbiano Cepatella, Terre de Pisa DOC. This is Sangiovese, 2018. This is made from 100-year-old vines. Terre de Pisa is a fairly new appellation in Tuscany, near the village of Pisa, obviously the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This comes in at $79. I'm surprised that this is fruit. I had this a while ago, and I remember it to be quite structured with like a lot of other subtle complexities, but $79. Super serious wine, age-worthy, delicious, but pretty pricey. You're also paying for limited production made from 100-year-old vines. I still think it's very good. Wow, Albania is gonna show really strong here. Let's move on. Number 3, sour cherry rose petal. This was the softest wine out of all of them. I feel like 3 and 6 both gave me this kind of lighter Brunello style, the style that I like in Brunello. Rose petaled, floral, soft. I gave it 92 points. Let's take a look. Brunello. This is This is the Martoccia Brunello di Montalcino 2018. This also comes in at $79. More of a floral style. I love Martoccia style. They're a smaller producer. There are so many small producers in Brunello di Montalcino. I'm surprised how soft this was. Their Riserva, the newest vintage, is 2016. It is an absolute killer wine, although it's not cheap. It's like the Cepatella. Very good, especially if you like that style of Brunello. I think other people that want Brunello want something a little bit bigger. This is the kind of style I'm going for. 92 points. I think it's an excellent wine. This is funny. Number 5, at first, I thought, oh, maybe this could be the Albanian wine, because at first, the nose, it just felt a little older than the rest of these wines. So the fruit wasn't there as much, but man, on the palate, complexity started to unfurl, really started to unlock. That's where I really enjoyed it. It definitely was the most aged, had these nice sweet flute flavors, nice balance interplay between the sweet and sourness of Sangiovese. I gave it 92 plus points. This is more of a rustic Tuscan style wine, or it could be Albania, who knows? At this point, I thought it was very good. 92 plus points. Let's take a look. You ready? Wow! This is the Lungarotti Rubesco Vigna Monticchio 2018 Riserva. $70 from Torgiano. Torgiano is an appellation in Umbria, the region that's just south of Tuscany. The same authorized grapes as Chianti Classico, so you're going to see Sangiovese, Colorino, Cagnaolo. I think they can put a little more Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, but it's mostly Sangiovese based. This is 100% Sangiovese. This is one of the founding producers in Torgiano. I think there's only 4 or 5 producers. This wine ages extremely well. I was at the estate years ago. I had a 74 that just knocked my socks off. Beautiful wine. It's young. I'm surprised that I said it tasted the most mature right now because it's fairly young. This is a new release. So, wowza, Albania, you are showing strong here. Wine number 2. Sweet mahogany, tobacco, tannins. Has a lot of things that I just love about Sangiovese. I gave this 93 points. We're coming down to the wire here. I'm wondering what's going to be what. My number 2, 93 points. A lot of things I like about a bigger style of Sangiovese. This is the Terre Capaccia Chianti Classico Riserva 2017. Comes in at $35. This is from Rada. High Elevation Vineyards. Might be my favorite village in Chianti Classico. There are a number of excellent producers there. This is a producer that is brand new to me. First time I'm tasting this wine. 2017, hotter vintage. $35. I think Chianti Classico, man. Well, it is a Riserva, but man, fantastic value for money. That's an excellent wine. Good job. Albania is still standing. I cannot believe this. I thought this wine was good blind when I tasted it, but this is the power of blind tasting. We're tasting it next to a lot of things. This is crazy to me. Now, I think wine 1 is going to be the wine that most of you are going to like. Wine 6 to me, I like more because it's more subtle. There's a little more nuance going on. Let's start out with wine 1. Wine 1 was just great wine. I mean, all these wines are actually great wines, but wine 1, darker, it's bigger, it's complex, it's rich, but it's still everything I like about Sangiovese. I gave it 94 points. That's a serious score. Albania's coming to play here. This is the Belba Kavaljon Reserve 2018. You can only get this in Albania where it's like 15 euros. I thought it was a good wine, and man, did that show well. 94 points blind. Are you kidding me? When I was with the sommelier Erdi, I tasted that wine. I looked at him. I was like, how many really good producers are in Albania? He was like, yeah, they're year to year consistently good, anywhere from 4 to 7. I said, is this one of the better ones? And he said, yes. And obviously, look at his most expensive wine was some kind of like Reserve Merlot, which to me, it was just not very good at all. But man, I was impressed then, and I am impressed now. It didn't win, however. The top wine, long, complex, more my style. This is more in your face. This is more subtle. Barely edged out, 94 plus points. 94 plus points. Good job, Albania. Hanging strong with the big boys. One of my favorite producers in Italy. This is the Boscarelli Vino Nobile di Montepulciano Riserva 2017. Boscarelli, small estate, just great wines in general. Everything in their portfolio is outstanding. This comes in at $59. I know it's not cheap, but this is a heck of a wine. Even their standard Vino Nobile is outstanding, and it ages pretty darn well. What a tasting. Tell me, what do you think about exotic wine producing countries? What do you think about Sangiovese? Do you love it as much as I do? Drop it in the comments below. Wow.